Supercalifragilistic expialidocious. We are here. FanDuel tight ends, week 11. Hit it. That's what I envision when I have a studio for myself and you say hit it and then the opening credits play and and then you have like fireworks, you know. But anyway, how's it going, Jason?
I'm here if anyone didn't notice.
So we're going to be reviewing your FanDuel tight end analysis for today. Put on your scientific theory flasks and get ready to do some experimenting today. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of crazy ones, but
yeah, well,
we've been down this road before.
Yeah. All right. The game today is you are going to compare each tight end to a early 2000s/1990s TV show.
TV show? Oh, dude, I wasn't watching.
Like Tia and Tamara.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can go back to childhood shows. Okay, that's
The Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, we'll go here.
Okay.
All right.
Rock with Modern Life. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Delanie Walker. Go. 6,200 against the Colts.
Delanie Walker. He's Hey Arnold. You know,
okay.
Just a classic favorite. Everyone loves. You know, there might be a couple episodes in there you didn't particularly like, but Delanie Walker, usually a good constant performance. You know, when he's rolling strong, and right now he seems 100% healthy. I think. You know, before we had a little bit of concern with his snaps, but now that seems to be pretty steady over the last few weeks. Coming off a big game against Green Bay, obviously a great matchup against Indy. They ranked 31st against tight ends per Football Outsiders, 45.6% DVOA, allowed them the fifth most FanDuel points. So it all really sets up for Walker, I think, in terms of game flow and just an overall correlation play with this game. You're going to like him quite a bit, averaging 7 targets per game this year. So 6,200 is pretty reasonable. Obviously, I don't think you need to really pay up a ton. You know, there is Jordan Reed on the slate who we'll talk about, but Walker just sits in that mid-range. I like him quite a bit.
I'm going to like him?
You should.
What are you trying to tell me what to do now? You
should like him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll take that into account. Yeah, I will say favorite character on Hey Arnold was the grandpa. Pretty clearly the best character. Martellus Bennett, you got next here. I mean, this is about as easy as it gets from a DFS perspective. 5,200 against the 49ers with no Gronk. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Martellus Bennett, trying to figure out what can come up. He's like one of those Disney movies. Remember those Disney movies? Like,
what was the Irish one?
Yes, Luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
$80 million cook-off.
Oh, boy.
Brink? You remember Brink, the rollerblading one?
Oh, of course I remember Brink.
So I'm going to use this comparison because they weren't on every night. They weren't every week, you know? And neither is Martellus Bennett, but here we are. We get a featured film.
But every time they come around, you're excited to like play them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Martellus Bennett. I mean, 5,200. It's looking likely that Gronk isn't going to play this week. He really shouldn't. I don't expect him to. Bennett's really cheap. He's going to be chalky in cash games and probably in GPPs because he's cheap. And obviously a 32-team total is going to be something that jumps out at you. Had 7 targets against Seattle. You know, caught all 7 for 102 yards when he's been a receiving back or a receiving tight end. I mean, he's been very solid. He's the only tight end to have over 2 points per 1K, you know, through our optimizer, and obviously have the highest cafe value on the board. So for me, cash game GPP, I think you can really fire him in there and expect a reasonable floor this week.
And, you know, I think you kind of made a mistake when you said back, but he literally comes out of the backfield. Like they use him like a running back sometimes. It's wild.
So I wasn't wrong.
You were right. He does legitimately line up in the backfield quite a bit. And I want him to get some carries. That'd be sick. Just 6'6", 250 Martellus Bennett running down the middle. Terrifying.
Against the league's worst rush defense.
Yo, what if they just did that to troll everyone. Like Martellus Bennett feature back this week and just gave him 25 carries. That'd be awesome. GPP tight ends. Jordan Reed in here in GPP, I'm guessing because he's more expensive and there's been a lot of variance with that Redskins offense so far, especially with Vernon Davis becoming 25 again somehow or doing good things again. So 6,900 against this Packers secondary. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, he's like Ed and Eddie. I wasn't a big fan, but on occasion I'd watch. That's what he was. The price is my biggest thing. I mean, 6,900. I can't take a non double digit performance from a guy I'm paying 6,900 for. I think that's just what it comes down to, and we've seen too many of those from Reed. But we've also seen the big 20-point upside that he brings to the table because he is a feature wideout in that Redskins offense. So I like the team total. I like the fact that we just saw Delanie Walker go off against them. Obviously, recency bias aside, Green Bay just still isn't that good against tight ends. I don't expect Washington to have a lot of success on the ground. I think most of it's going to come through the air. As long as he sees his normal share of targets, he's going to be fine. And obviously, I think people might be off of him because he just saw 4 targets last week, but it's a guy who, averages 9 per game. So when healthy, he's a guy who can be an elite scorer at the tight end position.
Yeah, and we saw it once earlier this year. We haven't seen it quite as consistently, but, I mean, he's got 2 touchdown upside in him every game. If Kirk Cousins is looking his way early, he just has enormous games. So like that. Eric Ebron versus the Jags, I don't know what you're going to do for comparisons here, but I hope it's a really mediocre show that was only on for a few years.
For a few years, it's tough. I mean, you gave Eric Ebron a horrible comparison. I got to do better than you.
Nico Wafers, yeah.
I mean, it was just it wasn't good. I value him a little bit more than that. I'm gonna go with like Even Stevens.
Okay. Hey, there you go. Beans.
I think
he's like Beans from Even Stevens. Yeah,
it's relatively entertaining. You watch it, you come down, you turn it on. That whole deal. 5,400. I like him as a swerve off of Bennett this week. Has seen 18 targets over the last 2 weeks, averaging 7.2 per game this year when healthy. Has been over double-digit fantasy points in the last 2 games, 7 catches in each of those. So as we've stated over the last few shows, you tack on a touchdown to that production, and you're talking 15, 16, 17, 18 plus, FanDuel point upside. And that's really good from a 5,400 tight end in a team total that's near 27, and basically in an offense that can't run the ball. So I like a lot of the kind of passing attack through Detroit this week. I like Ebron, Golden Tate, and I think Ebron's a good way to kind of stack, if you're not going with Julius Thomas, I think Ebron's a good guy to kind of go with like Bortles, Allen Robinson correlation play.
I like that. Is there anything else here on FanDuel tight end that you noticed, or is this kind of generally what you've cut it down to?
This is what I've cut it down to. Julius Thomas is a little bit expensive for me, 5,900. I think he's more of a DK play, which you touched on your pod. He's just too expensive for me to use this week. But generally so. I just don't think it's a week to really dive down any lower than Bennett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And CJ Fedorowicz playing on Monday night, so we won't get to use him this week in cash like we have been.
I would love to see a Mexico Wild CJ Fedorowicz just hammered off tequila, trucking like linebackers, and then lights a firework off in the end zone. I think that'd be if someone doesn't do that, I'm going to be disappointed.
If you haven't seen CJ Fedorowicz, he's got like some arm tattoos. He's got a cool name. Like, he's number 87. He's a big guy. Like, I feel like there's some marketability here. If he starts scoring more touchdowns, I feel like we could have a mini Gronk here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a big tight end named who's number 87? Is there someone out there?
Travis Kelce.
Well, he's got his own TV show, so yeah, he's got his own dating show.
Yeah, so I think he could be the trio there, and then they could just hang out, and I would be really happy. It'd be fun. Anyway, if you want to check out the rest of the article, Certainly head over to dailyfantasycafe.com. If you like this video and want more, give us a like and subscribe. Maybe even throw in a comment. If you don't like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs down and comment anyway, and call me ugly or call me pale or something. It'll make me get better at podcasting, So as always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week.